Hi, this is Steve Sieben. I'm the Deputy Director of Operations with Aurora Water. We appreciate you allowing us the time today to come talk to you about our Aurora Water system and specifically the operations group. As you can see by the slide, we have a very extensive system with our water coming from approximately 180 miles away. You can see our 3 river basins there, plus the Prairie Waters Project, and you can just see how expansive that really is. So what is our charge? Aurora Water consists of water, wastewater, and stormwater systems, and we must maintain compliance with all state and federal regulatory guidelines for not only drinking water, but for wastewater and stormwater systems. Specifically, we must maintain compliance with the Safe Drinking Water Act and the Clean Water Act. Today, you'll be hearing from our 3 operations managers. The first up will be Bobby Aligo, who's the manager of water treatment, followed by Mike Mills, who's the manager of operations and maintenance, and lastly, Marina Lurch, who's the manager of support services. However, I know some of you like org charts, so I've provided one here for you. And as you can see, under the Deputy Director of Water Operations are the 3 operations divisions with their respective sections beneath them. And with that, I'll turn it over to Bobby Aligo, our manager of water treatment. Bobby?
Thank you, Mr. Siba, and welcome everyone. My name is Bobby Aligo. I'm the manager of Aurora's Water Treatment Division. Water treatment has 2 sections. We have source of supply and water treatment. Source of supply is made up of 4 groups. The first group is Spinney Mountain Operations, which is located in South Park, Colorado. The next group is North Campus Operations, which is a part of the Prairie Waters Project and located in the area of Brighton, Colorado. The third group in source of supply is Reservoir Management. This group is located here in Aurora. And the fourth group is Dam Safety, also located in Aurora. Source of supply groups operate and maintain the city's raw water supply system, which is a network of reservoirs, streams, ditches, conveyance pipelines, and the water treatment facility at Front Range Airport, which is now known as Spaceport. I will share with you on the following slide more information on the city's raw water supply system. Next is the water treatment section, which has 3 water purification facilities and a reuse treatment facility. We have Griswold Water Purification Facility, Wimblinger Water Purification Facility, Benny Water Purification Facility, and Sand Creek Water Reuse Facility. This group is responsible for the operation and maintenance of our water purification and reuse facility. Also included under water treatment is Aurora Water Flow Control Center. On the right-hand side of the slide, you see 2 awards: Outstanding Water Treatment Plant and Best Tasting Water. These are just a couple of many awards and recognitions received by the treatment section for exceptional water quality and outstanding treatment plant performance. I must say I am very proud of the employees in source water and treatment who are responsible for producing exceptional drinking water and keeping Aurora Water a leader in the water industry. Source of supply operations. If you don't mind, focus your eyes to the right of the slide. The photo on the top is an aerial view of North Campus Aquifer Recharge and Recovery Basins, also known as ARR. North Campus has 27 ARR wells. And along the South Platte River, if you see a tree line on the very top of the photo, that's the South Platte River. We have 23 riverbank filtration wells, also known as RBF. Well water is pumped 34 miles to Benny Water Purification Facility through 3 pumping stations that pump water a total height of about 1,000 feet. Next is a photo of a stream gauge. This is one of 23 in South Park. that is used to measure and record the volume of water captured from our watershed that eventually makes its way to our storage reservoirs. Below is a photo of Strontia Springs Reservoir, where all of our water from the South Platte is combined and diverted into Aurora's Rampart Reservoir. From Rampart Reservoir, water flows by gravity through about 22 miles of pipe to Aurora's water treatment facilities. On the left-hand side, you see some stats. Let me briefly read through. We have about 130 miles of ditches and pipelines from South Park to Aurora. As I said earlier, 23 stream gauges located in South Park, 700 square miles of watershed, 34 miles of pipeline from North Campus operations to Aurora, 6 reservoirs and dams that are maintained by Source of Supply, 53 wells, and these wells also include the Cherry Creek well field, 640 acres in North Campus. This is a Google map showing our treatment facilities. At the top of the slide is Sand Creek Water Reuse Facility. It is located on East 30th Avenue. And as you head down south, you see Griswold Water Purification Facility. It is located in the area of Hamden and Chambers. And as we move towards the east, we see Wimblinger Water Purification Facility. It is located on Quincy Avenue between Reservoir Road and Buckley, just across the street from Quincy Reservoir. And our newest facility further east is Benny Water Purification Facility. It is located just north of Aurora Reservoir, just below the dam. This is a photo of a treatment process at Sand Creek Water Reuse Facility. On the left-hand side of the slide is raw sewage entering the water treatment process, and on the right is effluent water from one of the clarifiers. You can see how clean the water is after passing through the biological treatment process. The quality of effluent water is clean and surpasses all regulatory requirements. Sand Creek Water Reuse Facility was placed in service in 1968 as one of Colorado's first reuse treatment facility. The treatment plant has the capacity to produce up to 5 million gallons per day of treated water, which is pumped to Aurora's golf courses, parks, and green belts. Sand Creek Water Reuse Facility was awarded the National Association of Clean Water Agencies Platinum Award for producing exceptional treated effluent and not having any water quality violations. Treatment plant operators and maintenance staff at Sand Creek Water Reuse Facility are responsible for this prestigious recognition. Griswold Water Purification Facility was built in 1967 with a treatment capacity of 20 million gallons per day. The treatment facility has been expanded several times, with the most recent expansion in 2001, which increased its capacity to 80 million gallons per day. Griswold Water Purification Facility was originally named Leonard R. Cooper after former Aurora Public Works Director. In 2001, the facility was renamed to Griswold Water Purification Facility in honor of former Utilities Director Thomas Griswold. Griswold Water Purification Facility treats water from Aurora's Rampart Reservoir, Quincy Reservoir, and our Cherry Creek wells. Wimblinger Water Purification Facility is named after Charles Wimblinger, who was Aurora's Utilities Director from 1963 to 1968. Wimblinger Water Purification Facility was placed in service in 1982 with a treatment capacity of 40 million gallons per day. It has been expanded twice, once in 1987 and most recently in 2002. Wimblinger has a treatment capacity of 80 million gallons per day, and its primary source of raw water is from Rampart Reservoir and Aurora Reservoir. Benny Water Purification Facility was completed in 2010 as part of the Prairie Water System. The Benny facility is named after Peter D. Benny, Director of Aurora Water from 2002 to 2008. Benny Water Purification Facility has a treatment capacity of 50 million gallons per day. This facility is really two water treatment facilities on one site. It has a conventional treatment train that treats water from Aurora Reservoir, and it has an advanced treatment train that treats water from the South Platte through North Campus. Benny Water Purification Facility treats water from Aurora Reservoir and our Prairie Waters Project North Campus wells. Treatment Water Quality, Partnership for Safe Water. Partnership for Safe Water is a voluntary program that was developed by 6 major drinking water organizations. And these are the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the Association of Metropolitan Water Agencies, the American Water Works Association, the National Association of Water Companies, the Association of Safe Drinking Water Administrators, and the Water Research Foundation. The goal of the partnership is to provide a new measure of safety to millions of Americans by implementing prevention programs where legislation or regulations does not exist. The preventive measures are based around optimizing treatment plant performance with the result of producing and delivering superior quality of water to all customers. In plain English, be proactive and do not wait for regulations to tell you what the water quality parameters should be. Be prepared, be ahead of regulations. Optimize your treatment processes to produce the best quality possible. Continuously evaluate your processes, identify gaps, use data to make decisions, make improvements as needed, and avoid complacency. So why is Partnership for Safe Water so important to Aurora? Remember the accolades I briefly mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, and that Aurora Water employees are responsible for exceptional maintenance of facilities and for producing exceptional drinking water? Being a part of the Partnership for Safe Water program has developed a culture within the treatment division where employees are focused on water quality and continuous improvement. The Partnership for Safe Water program has 4 phases. The first being commitment to the program and the program goals, baseline data collection, self-assessment, and finally, optimized system. Individual treatment facilities that successfully complete the requirements of Phase 4, the highest phase, are recognized with the Partnership for Safe Water Excellence in Treatment Award. Achieving this highest level is not an easy task. Only 19 water treatment facilities in the nation have achieved this highest level. I am proud to say that the City of Aurora is the only water utility in the Partnership for Safe Water program to have 3 water treatment plants recognized with the Partnership Phase 4 Excellence in Treatment Award. This photo was taken after a City Council meeting where the Water Treatment Division was recognized and received the 3rd Phase 4 Excellence in Treatment Award. I will briefly hold on this slide so you can take a look at some of the friendly faces here. Congratulations, water treatment, on the job well done. As I mentioned earlier, the Aurora Water Flow Control Center is part of the Water Treatment Division. This group coordinates after-hour emergency response. They monitor alarms on SCADA and dispatches appropriate group. SCADA is an acronym for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition System. This group monitors Aurora's water system. They operate the water distribution system, operate Sand Creek Water Reuse Facility after hours under the direction of a certified operator, and they receive all after-hour customer calls. This is a screenshot of Aurora Water's SCADA program that is used to operate and monitor our water system. SCADA is used to operate and monitor our water treatment plants, raw water supply system, pumping stations, lift stations, storage reservoirs, wells, and our other water facilities. The colors on the screen make it easier for the operators in flow control and at the treatment facilities, as well as the distribution system, to quickly see what is happening within their system. Green for on or running, red for off. On this particular screen, you have a Quincy Reservoir storage level. We have pump status, and of course the controls to start, stop a pump. And with that, this is my last slide, and I will now turn it over to Mr. Mike Mills, Manager of Water Operations and Maintenance. It's all yours, Mike, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bobby, and hello, everyone. My name is Mike Mills. I'm the Manager of Water Operations and Maintenance. Water Operations and Maintenance consists of 4 distinct sections, being pumping, water T&D, which stands for water transmission and distribution, wastewater, and stormwater. Let's talk a little bit about what each section does now. After the finished water has left the treatment facilities, water transmission and distribution and pumping are responsible for conveying that water throughout the distribution system. In water T&D in particular, they are responsible for operation, maintenance, and repair of the pipelines, as well as the appurtenances that are associated, such as hydrants, valves, and pressure regulating devices. Pumping is also a large part of that. They're responsible for the operation, maintenance, and repair of the pumping stations, which maintain the flow throughout the distribution system, as well as the potable raw water storage tanks. The pumping section also is responsible for sewer lift stations. The wastewater section is responsible for the operation and maintenance of our city's sanitary sewer collection system. They do this by cleaning and inspecting those pipes on a rotational basis. The stormwater section is responsible for the stormwater conveyance system, including maintenance of the items you see there. Now let's delve into what each group does specifically. If you laid our water pipe end to end, it would stretch from here to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to give you some idea of the scale of the system. In it we have over 40,000 valves, which are maintained on a target of every 5 years. An ISO fire rating is a score provided to fire departments and insurance companies by the Insurance Services Office. This score reflects how prepared a community and area is for fires. It mainly focuses on the local fire departments and water supply. For our portion of it, we maintain each one of our fire hydrants in the system annually to help achieve a high rating. The pumping area has a multitude of stations that they take care of, including potable water pump stations, which maintain volume and pressures in parts of the city. We maintain multiple raw water pump stations, including 3 along the Prairie Waters train. We even maintain reuse irrigation pump stations like the one used at the sports park. The pumping group is also responsible for maintaining potable water storage reservoirs, of which there are 9. Additionally, that group maintains 3 raw water storage forebays. In 2007, the Partnership for Safe Water and Water Research Foundation developed a project to help distribution systems optimize operations. It's modeled after the treatment program, and the membership in the distribution program ensures that water quality improvements can be measured and validated over time. Because of the work we've done here at Aurora Water in terms of distribution system optimization, we've been awarded the Phase 3 Distribution Directors Award. Using sanitary sewer cleaning equipment like the one pictured on top there, the wastewater section can clean hundreds of miles of pipe annually. That allows us to clean the entire system on a 2 to 3 year rotational basis. We also inspect that same pipe, although it takes us 7 years to get through it, and we do it by remote piloted cameras. And last but not least, this brings us to the stormwater section. The stormwater section is responsible for the cleaning and maintenance of the city's curb inlets, pipes, storm drains, and detention ponds. We maintain 88 miles of stormwater channels and creeks in removing sediment and vegetation from the channels, forebays, and ponds. We perform revegetation associated with channels and ponds. We maintain handrails and other fall protection devices for the public using stormwater facilities. We also provide flood response management, and we help out with the city's public works snow removal effort. Due to all of that maintenance work I just mentioned that Aurora performs on the stormwater system, including the fact that we do so in a proactive manner, we are able to be a part of discounting flood insurance rates and pass that on to our citizens. The Community Rating System, or CRS, is a voluntary incentive program that recognizes and encourages community floodplain management practices that exceed the minimum requirements of the National Flood Insurance Program. Over 1,500 communities participate nationwide, and we're one of them. Now I'd like to toss it over to Marina Lurch, who is the Manager of Support Services.
Thanks, Mike. My name is Marina Lurch. I am the manager for the Support Services Division, and my area is comprised of 3 sections: Field Service, Technical Operations, and the Water Service section. I'll provide a little bit more detail to each of these 3 sections. Our Field Services team responds and resolves any customer concerns, as well as operate, maintain, and repair our meter reading system. Technical Operations team provides security control and remote operation capabilities to manage Aurora Water's infrastructure. And our Water Service team provides cross-connection control program, as well as utility locating for all of our water, wastewater, and stormwater infrastructure. They also test and disinfect new water lines and provide several internal services for Aurora Water. They take care of our fleet control program, as well as small equipment repairs. We also provide a trades team to allow for fixes in the system, and our warehousing and procurement team works on gathering any items necessary for the utilities to perform their work. Field service consists of 3 sections: meter maintenance, which manages our large meters, meter reading, and data management. Our meter reading and data management is a critical area to ensure accurate and timely billing to the citizens of Aurora. This team consists of meter reading, our Operations Service Center, hydrant meter rental, and data management. Our Operations Service Center receives all Aurora Water operations calls, for example, customer service calls, as well as service requests from contractors. It is critical for scheduling, the creation of service requests, as well as work orders and the dispatching of appropriate field personnel. Other meter reading and data management responsibilities include quality assurance of all work orders generated and completed in our customer information system, fire hydrant meter permitting and rental, as well as subsequent billing related to those rentals. Service response performs many functions in the field, including response to emergencies, water quality calls, scheduled appointments, final reads, and alternate water connections. This team converted to 100% mobile work just months before the pandemic hit. Very thankful for that. They're called out to identify noisy pipe concerns, leak identification, and a variety of other customer billing concerns. SCADA team is responsible for the installation, maintenance, repair, and operation of various types of equipment and instruments that monitor and allow for adjustments to the water system. This team is also responsible for meeting the security requirements of the vulnerability assessment and has exposed all of us to new acronyms like INC and my favorite, HMI. SCADA is a network of intelligent devices that monitor and control the process for source of supply, treatment, transmission, and distribution of water services. It is also responsible for maintaining the SCADA system and provides skilled and technical support of devices to all of Aurora Water. Simply put, it is like the nervous system of our utility, with water being monitored throughout by our instrumentation and control. The other portion of our technical operations team is supported by an electrical team. They are responsible for the installation, maintenance, and repair of various types of electrical equipment within Aurora Water, and they consist of a supervisor as well as 3 electricians. Our water services team is comprised of our warehouse, our trades team, cross-connection control, as well as fleet and small equipment, utility locating, and contractor services. In November 2019, we transitioned to Tier 1 requirements for utility locating. That was in a couple of months prior to the January 1st, 2020 deadline. We wanted to ensure quality could be maintained and that there were no problems prior to the deadline, and were effectively changed over prior to the deadline date of January 1, 2020. Just to give you an idea of how many utility tickets we take per year, we were just over 65,000 tickets in 2020, which is at least about 6,000 more than the prior year. So that's definitely made an impact on our utility locating team. As you can see, support services is a very versatile and wide variety of job descriptions as well as job responsibilities. We appreciate your time and certainly have time for any questions.
Hi, my name is Sean Leesky, and I am the Environmental Services Manager for the Aurora Water Department. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about what my group does. And as you can kind of see here in this org chart, we had been under a Director of Operations. Unfortunately, we recently had a retirement from that position. That position has not been filled, so on an interim basis, I am actually currently reporting to the Deputy Director of Water Resources. And just a little more information on environmental services. We are comprised of 3 groups: the Environmental Compliance and Permitting Group, the Environmental Inspections Group, and the Quality Control or Water Quality Control Laboratory. And I will be getting into more detail on the next several slides on each of those 3 groups. To start off, though, I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of just general background on each of the 3 groups, and we will take a deeper dive into what each of these groups does in the corresponding slides as we get into this presentation. Environmental inspections, as you can kind of see here, their primary role is conducting inspections to ensure compliance with various state permitting requirements, with some pretreatment requirements, and they also respond to spills and other incidents that have the potential to impact our storm sewer system. Our compliance and permitting group, they are there to ensure that we maintain compliance with all federal, state, and local environmental regulatory requirements, and that is no small task, mind you. There are a myriad of rules and regs, and there's a lot to that, and again, we'll get into that here in a little bit. They obtain and manage all environmental permits, and they conduct some internal reviews to ensure adherence to those rules and regulations, and in some cases, internal operating procedures. And last but not least, our Water Quality Control Laboratory. And they are a critical component of our system. They conduct our regulatory and operational water quality sampling. Many of the rules require sampling. They do that. They manage our water quality of storage reservoirs, and they assist our operations with optimization processes. And again, that's a critical role that really helps our operational groups and our treatment group that you may have heard about earlier. It helps them to understand their treatment and how things are working within the system. So taking a little bit deeper dive into each of those groups, again, the environmental inspections group, one of the things they do is what we call wastewater pretreatment inspections. And if you look in this picture to the upper right, the picture in the top is a picture of a sand interceptor. And grease interceptors are very similar. And they're both in place to ensure that we prevent certain materials from getting into our sanitary sewer that can cause backups and problems in the system, those being sand and grease. And so sand traps are typically associated with automotive shops and various types of retail places like that. Our grease interceptors are typically associated with restaurants, and they are places that produce high amounts of grease. And again, it's to prevent those materials from getting into our system, where they can kind of conglomerate, cause big problems, and then eventual backups. The other things they do is channel and pond inspections, and those inspections are to basically evaluate our stormwater infrastructure and our channels and ponds to make sure that there's no sediment buildup, there's no blockages, there's no material built up in the channels, such that if there were a big storm event, that we might get backups, again, flooding problems associated with that. So another type of backup, but more associated with flooding. They also do some public and private stormwater ponds, similar, to be sure that those are being maintained in accordance with the standards and what they were designed to do. The other thing they do is spill response, and they do respond to all spills, or what we call incidents, that may be reported to the city. Sometimes those are chemicals, sometimes they're associated with sanitary sewer overflows, and those can be caused by a number of things. I mentioned grease and sand. They have been known to be caused by sometimes kids throwing debris down into a manhole. For a variety of reasons, we might have that happen. Breaks, things like that. We do respond to those. One of the bigger things they do end up responding to are oil leaks from vehicles. A lot of times when we get out there, we certainly want to stop that, but a lot of times by the time we get to the site, the oil has already dried, and there's nothing much that we can do. But we do provide information and flyers to the responsible party and try to educate them on minimizing the impacts of oil to our system. And last but not least, again, what they do is they do erosion control inspections. And these are on all construction sites within the city that are greater than 1 acre in size. They are required to institute what we call best management practices. And so this group will go out and inspect to make sure that those sites are installing the best management practices and maintaining them such that they are actually effective. And again, it's for all active sites. Our compliance and permitting group really has no small task for the organization. Kind of going to start a little bit up at the top and go down, but one of the couple of things they do is some internal reviews. These are what we call mock sanitary surveys, or audits, for lack of a better term. Sometimes we don't like to use that term because it carries a negative connotation. But really what we're there to do is evaluate ourselves, ensure that we're following SOPs, and ensure that we're following the rules and regs. There's a lot of rules and regs out there. There's a lot of things to remember. And so this is just a process of an internal process to evaluate and continually improve. So in some cases, it may be that they are perfectly in compliance with the rules, but there's some areas where we might be able to improve. So we're doing some of that just to ensure that we are maintaining compliance. We review regulations as they come out, and so we kind of call those regulatory reviews. The federal government, as well as the state health department or environmental department, is constantly looking at changing rules and regs. And so this group evaluates those, understands how they are going to affect our utility, and then works with our operations groups or other groups to ensure that they understand how it's going to impact them once that rule becomes effective. And that kind of ties into the compliance assistance. So working with our operations groups, working with our engineering groups, working with others just to ensure that they understand those rules and exactly what it is they need to do to comply. They also participate in a large variety of stakeholder meetings. And so the federal government, when they are developing rules, same thing with the state, they will have stakeholder meetings, and this group will participate in those, again, to understand what's going to be coming down the pipe and to make sure that we are having a voice at the table when those things are being. A couple of the other things that they do, more associated with permitting. We do manage all of our permits for the city. So we have a municipal separate storm sewer permit or stormwater permit. They manage that. They manage any 404 permits that we might get. So they do manage a lot of permitting. In addition to that, we have our household chemical roundup. We have a couple of events that we manage. That's an annual event that's held typically in September. Unfortunately, the last couple years, we have had to cancel that due to COVID. But we also manage what we call a door-to-door household program, household chemical waste program, where we have worked with an organization that will drop off essentially a container. The household fills that container up, and then they will come and pick that up for a nominal fee. We also do the Highline Canal cleanup. It's an annual event held in the spring. In years past, that's primarily been held in March. This year, we decided to move that up to April in an effort to try to get a little bit more predictable weather, and it was very successful. So we will likely probably be holding that in April in the future. But we clean up trash and debris and things that are cluttering the canal to, again, make sure it's flowing and not impact. And last but not least, I kind of mentioned a few of these. We deal with wastewater permits and a variety of different permits, and there's a variety of different permits both federally and at the state level. And so we assist our engineering group, our water resources group, and even our operations group with obtaining these permits when they are necessary. And going on to our quality control laboratory, they are a state certified laboratory. They, again, conduct all of the regulatory analyses for our drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater system. And so there are a large number of regulatory monitoring requirements that are required by all those rules. And our quality control laboratory ensures that we are in compliance with those, and we're taking all those samples and supplying them and providing reports to the appropriate regulatory agency. We do comprehensive source water analysis and reporting, so they also do an evaluation of our source waters to ensure that they continue to be treatable by our treatment division. They provide that information to the treatment division, and decisions are made based off of that on where and how to pull water. And so it's a very critical role that they play in the assistance that they provide to our treatment division. They support the entire system with operational compliance testing and data interpretation. So oftentimes we might have things that come across our desks that include a variety of data and an analytical data. So the laboratory will assist with reviewing that and understanding it, and again, making sure that we're complying. You can kind of see here that they conduct over 80,000 analyses on an annual basis. That's a significant undertaking. And we've got a great laboratory staff that manages all that analysis. They also assist in optimization studies. And again, this is something that they work closely with our operations groups on, but it's optimization of the system, optimization of our treatment. So taking samples, providing data, and helping them understand areas that they might be able to improve. And they are a highly recognized laboratory. And you can kind of see here at the bottom, they have been the outstanding water laboratory with the Rocky Mountain section of the American Water Works Association pretty much every year since 2008, and I'm guessing that maybe even before that. And the only reason it's every other year is because that organization does not allow the same laboratory to get that award 2 years in a row. And likely they would probably have that every year if it weren't for that requirement. So they are highly recognized, and they are award-winning laboratory for the work that they do. And thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. If you do have any questions, Greg will be more than happy to provide you with my contact information. Please feel free to reach out anytime. I'm happy to answer questions that any of you might have. Thanks.